Welcome. This is Barry Jones from Angelic Wisdom, and we're here for our weekly angel reading for April 17th through the 23rd, 2023. So, as we begin, I'd just like to welcome everyone back to this weekly series and to also welcome anyone who may be new to our Angelic Wisdom community. I'd just like to ask you to take the time to subscribe, select the all notification bell, like, dislike, and leave your comments. I've really enjoyed the comments that everyone has been leaving, and I'm sure that they've been of tremendous support to others. So thank you all for your courage to do so. Um, if you'd like to get an angel reading with me, you can go to my current website, theangelschool.com/services, and you can select the first time promotional offer that is available if you are a first time client. Otherwise, there's other opportunities there as well. And if you'd just like to contribute to my channel, you can, in support of the channel, you can select my PayPal me link, which you can find in the description area as well. And if you haven't seen the monthly general reading at this point, I hope you have, and I hope you would check it out, as it might be of some great support to you even now, as we're in sort of the thick of the month. Um, and I will try to remember to include that link as well. Also, I posted the monthly angel scopes for each zodiac sign. So, head on over to my channel or any of my social media that's below, except for Instagram. I don't think I've published it there. I still find Instagram very difficult to use, so I've abandoned it for just a little bit. I'll figure out something later. All right, so let's take a deep breath together. And really, they're showing me sort of a squat position. So the first thing that comes to my mind, since they've never shown it to me before, of someone squatting, I'm just really focused on the root chakra, is what comes to my mind, energy. And they write ready. So it seems as though that you might be ready for, they show me a mushroom, which is my symbol for the fairies, or abundance. And so they're saying yes to the abundance part, probably also to the yes to the fairies as well, of course. But it indicates that you are ready to make some shifts in terms of looking at your self worth and embracing the abundance that is within you. And this is where, and of course, they're going to interrupt me and say, joy is the sign, okay, the connection to abundance. I mean, they're almost giving me a sense of an emphatic, it is the only door that opens you up to abundance. They even wrote, kind of in a cheeky way, it's the chapel. Joy is the chapel to abundance. And unless you are ready to really start having a good time, start really tuning into the joy. And let me tell you, I've been, all these messages I've been bringing to you last month, somehow I am going through the shifts in the most, yeah, I want to say, well, yeah, I want to say awesome because I hear that in my head. Maybe my higher self thinks that, but my human does not think so at all. It's horrible. But they're having me go through it for a reason. And I've been noticing, like, I don't remember after these readings what I've said here, and I probably need to, actually. But I'm like really in the trenches, and they're having me go through it, and then you hopefully get to benefit from the wisdom that's coming out of it all. And that which is preparing us, we're literally in a great period of shift. Now, the work that they're writing the word gay, which is my symbol for things coming out, right? So everything is coming out right now. And I can't sugarcoat it. It's awful. But it's all coming out. And that is awesome because it's all coming out. Like, I've seen deep in the basement of the subconscious things I would never have known was just there. And it's all coming out. It's all coming to the light. And the thing that I have really discovered as I try to struggle with the old paradigm mechanisms, as I told you, is all phantom memories, like a phantom limb. So those are the things that you're going to go for first and foremost, okay? And they're not going to work. They're just not going to work. Um, and we really have to harness our light. We have to harness our light. We have to harness our compassion. We have to harness all the love that we have, not just for ourselves, but for everything that is happening in all the ways that the ego, that old paradigm, is this phantom memory that's lingering, that's trying to hang on through you. So it's got to go through you. And it's always been the ego's way. It's always been an illusion. So it's not like I'm saying it's all of a sudden no longer real. It wasn't real ever. And now it's just really, it's the same, except that the platform that the ego, that we allowed, that we constructed with all of these beliefs, limiting beliefs, we have a foundation of true beliefs. They were never stripped away because they're indelible. They are permanent. They, the, the matrix of the universe and oneness is based upon it, and it is fixed and unmovable. It expands like love. It's unconditional, but it never loses its pure essence. And neither have you or I. But the ego created because of our belief. That's how it worked. That's how it's working now. It had to convince you, it seeps into you through those moments when we're vulnerable. And think about all the ways that you can be vulnerable physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. The thing is, we all go, I don't want to be vulnerable. And that's when we do the very thing that supports that paradigm of fear. When we try to shut down in order to keep out. So it's just like when, there's insects or something in your home or some kind of critters, you would want to do everything to keep them out. But the best way to keep them out is to keep your area clean and healthy, right? That's the best way to keep them out. Because they're only following where there's impurities. So you don't want to focus on keeping them out because that draws them to you. What you resist persists, but what you focus on increases. And when you do something, you do it for your best and highest good. You do it to affirm the foundational beliefs of oneness within you. So you know at the foundation that you are peace. You know that love stretches. It's like Mr. Stretch. It'll stretch to the far reaches of the universe and won't break. And so you focus on being your light, being your highest self, offering the most compassion that you can surrender yourself to. So you want to be vulnerable. You want to be vulnerable because the only thing you're focused on, you're not focused on what to keep out. You're focused on what to unleash within you, all of your power and all the graces that bless your life, that can bless your life if you allow it. And so, sitting in our power, sitting in joy is a power, love is a power, peace is a power, harmony. These are real powers. But aggression, anger, and all of these other things that we use to sort of boast, you know, it's almost like instead of being, you kind of convince people that you're being this. And so you put on this act. Anything that's an act that you have to put on in order to convince another, that's all that the ego has been doing to you from the start. Has to convince you to be afraid, number one, of that which you dislike or do not understand or have misinterpreted or misjudged. And those are the ways. And so you have to understand that the chapel to abundance is joy. If you have a chapel of joy that you foster, and there are rituals and practices that joy that you've discovered that help you to find that joy, if it's singing, if it's going to the beach, if it's hanging out with your friends, if it's having the greatest pleasure of your life or the greatest orgasm of your life, if it brings you joy and it creates a chapel for you, then you will access abundance. Now, most people's base chakra or root chakra is just tight because we're so worried about safety, the safety of our lives, the safety of our things, the safety of our body, its health. We're just worried up. And we don't like being vulnerable to these worries, to these ideas, these concepts. And so we spend our lives trying to escape them or trying to fix them. You, the I gotta do this. Because you're forgetting that the universe, source, God, whatever you want to call it, creates chapels. You are a temple. Your essence and your energy, your body is a temple. And it's impenetrable for one reason only. Because the essence, the source of everything that you are and everything that you have is born out of the light of truth, the joy of your heart, the peace of that passes all understanding, the harmony of the spheres. It's all born out of the same origin, the same source. It comes not from any other way or platform. Your worrying doesn't crank it into being. Your frustration doesn't make it just suddenly shoot up out of the earth. Your anger doesn't do it either. Now, we're in a human experience, of course. I'm not blind. Trust me, because I don't think I've been ever so under the whatever you want to call it. I mean, I hate to use words like, but it just feels like attack from everywhere. And I wanted to do what we see people do. You go and you attack. This is what the human plan is always, strategy has always been. Somebody attacks you, you attack them back. Somebody gets angry with you, you get angry with them back. If they stop talking to you, stop talking to them. No, they're right in front of me. It's actually love. And I don't think that we're in such ignorance as we were before in that old paradigm. I think that is one of the things that makes this all different and makes it so clear that we are now only have access to the paradigm of love. Because even now, this is the only thing, is actually, I'm being forced to see that it's the only thing that's real and the only way to act. We have to love as much as it takes to learn to love. That is the lesson, because we're all like standing on the at the entry in the foyer of this whole new paradigm, that and that walk towards that golden age. From this point, this is the starting point. But as we get further into the next 10 years, 2032, towards that golden era, the love, our walk with love, our faith and commitment to this path is going to show us just how powerful we are as we let go of trying to manipulate and with using the ego as a mechanism or tool. The gifts of our divinity, our divine essence, are going to unfurl in the most incredible, magnanimous ways. And the technologies that we are seeing in our hands, we're going to discover function within us energetically on the same idea, but at such a larger, expanded scale than ever was conceivable. And yet, that won't make us any less human, but it will make us incredible and extraordinary human beings. And so, if you've been trying to figure out how to get anything that you think you need, and it gets more and more confusing, or more and more anxiety, or when you get more and more panicked, or you get more and more worried, or more and more confused, and more of just insanity, stop. Stop, stop, stop. Stop trying to use despair and desperation to make your decisions from. You don't have access to that platform anymore. You have the phantom memories, and you're driving yourself crazy, and it is going to be a hell of a ride. It's going to be the best kind of crazy you've ever experienced in your life, the best kind of chaos you've ever experienced in your life. And if you go to the extreme, it's going to go to the extreme. You're going to feel like you're being broken, but you're not breaking, because you can't be anymore. But if you're worried up, you're bothered up, let's put it that way, then just get into that chapel. And that chapel has the windows, clear, transparent windows. Why? Because it wants you to see what you've been doing. It wants to help you to see that that's not real. And you don't need to first of all, you don't need to be afraid of being vulnerable. Being vulnerable means that you're allowing your gifts to actually work for you. It means that you're letting those signals go out there, and you're allowing the information that you need for the highest good or solutions or creativity to guide you. You're saying, I'm ready. That's the word they wrote earlier. I'm ready to let that go. I see this doesn't matter. That matter doesn't matter. That's the point of this transparency about what are all these feelings about and why am I sitting in all this stuff? You are right. And let me tell you this with absolute certainty. I don't know why we got all this shaking, this shifting here of the camera. Because I was shaking a lot. The camera, but let's be clear. This is in your foundation. You are where you are supposed to be no matter what is going on. To waste your energy judging it is going to make you miserable. And you're allowing your ego's old memories to run you right out of your life. There's no way to go but to be present with it all. So get inside of your chapel. Don't fight with your ego. Go inside your chapel. It's very clear now, all of a sudden, it's like, no, peace is my goal. No, love is my goal, or joy is my goal. This is not doing anything for me. I'm telling you, like, I've been getting like sick and just feeling like waking up in the morning. And as soon as I let it go, decide I'm not going to act on it in that way. And I'm just going to focus on what gives me joy or whatever it is I'm seeking or gives me peace, then it stops. And what we're not doing is that when we go into the chapel of joy or love or peace or whatever the chapel is that you're being guided into, those power centers, when you go into them and you just let all that stuff, you just watch it and take your attention, just let it, as a matter of fact, you feel it, you learn, and you focus on what is truth. What we've never given these powers a chance to do is to show you how God, the universe, source, resolves all these things by lifting you above it. When you're in this chapel, when you're in those chapels practicing those practices, it takes you into higher dimensions so that you don't notice that your physical reality may still be the same, but the experiences that go across and around you and through you are different. Some people are going to fall off, like they just won't be there anymore. You might not remember them anymore. Or you might watch some people dramatically exit or amicably exit. I just saw the word, apologetically exit. Because if you stay where you were, and I'm talking about in I'm not going to even call it a chapel, but if you stay in that ego, the cave of your ego's horror shows, then you are perpetuating the same thing that the people or the situation is offering you only because you made yourself in resistance to whatever it was and then therefore kept it going. So to go into one of those chapels and to practice, do whatever allows you to feel like you're practicing joy, practicing love. This is the thing. It's not like you're not doing anything, you're just sitting passively. No, you're going to practice. You're going to create, in that practice, in that chapel, you're creating rituals that's creating a reality. It's creating an experience. It's creating dynamics, cause and effects within that's playing like it's almost like things are just ricocheting off of the hologram, the matrix, within the matrix itself, and it's shifting you through the dimensions, through the levels of consciousness and awareness and perception and interpretation, hopefully to get to the place where you just have acceptance. No matter which temple you go into, acceptance is the highest elevation. Because in order to really have a temple of joy, there has to be an acceptance of all the things that go with that practice. And those are rooted in your foundation of belief. Right? Like, if going to the beach is your thing, all right, you're accepting that. And every time you go to the beach, what are you going to expect? What are you going to receive? Joy. Because that's the only thing that you can conceivably allow for. Same thing with love. Love and loving others and loving someone, we're afraid of our hearts being broken or being hurt, but love just expands. You love, you just continue to love. It doesn't mean that you put up with things, but you don't close your heart. Because if you let somebody teach you to close your heart, then it makes it painful for you to open it again. Because when you shut your heart, that is not natural to anything that is of oneness. To close, that's pushing against something that's unnatural. And so then to try to pry it open is just as painful until you learn to relax, because the muscles have been tightened. Just hold your muscle or your arm or something up for a long time with something really heavy and don't move it and see how much pain you have. And so then it's like, oh my God, you're scared to open it up. It's so painful. I've done that sometimes. So painful carrying like heavy grocery bags or something like that and held in a position. And then when I had to let it go, when I finally got a chance to let it go, it was too painful to move. And so we have to be aware of this kind of thing. Acceptance. If you truly want to practice love, you have to know that you have to learn to accept. Because if you accept what is, and you don't try to fix or change it or alter it or reinterpret it so that it's not what you see, then you're going to create more pain. So if somebody shows you who they are, you have to accept that. And you still love, because that is the only natural way to be. It's just like I was saying to a client yesterday. It's like to be or not to be, or I am or am I? And when you go against, whenever you do, whatever you do, that's ego, it's always, that's where we're like, am I? That is like, I don't know who I am. That is, you lack confidence. That is where it comes from. Because in oneness is I am. It knows what it is, and it proclaims it. But the ego is an illusion. It knew it from the start, so that's why its phrase is, am I? Question mark. And that is why everything that we do with that kind of power is impermanent and unresolvable. There are no solutions. The limitations are limitless. you know, until you come, till it brings you to the point where you don't want to be anything. So if you find yourself confused, it's because you're saying you're exercising. Am I? Am I? Am I being? Am I a good person? Am I really intelligent? Am I? Am I? Do I know how to do this? Am I? Am I? I am. Feel the heart is open. Am I? No. Tight. Okay. Let's take a look at the Archangel Hope. So Archangel Hope says, look for a cosmic gift in this week. Remember, you deserve it. And this just gives me a sense. Okay. Sorry, I'm getting a little cuckoo today about this. Everything been straight. I don't know why. But ego, probably, of course. So she gives us this sense. She says, look for a cosmic gift. Remember, you deserve it. That is, I am. If you're saying, am I? That's the opposite of hope. You're not even on the bandwidth of hope. And these doors, you see, she has this rainbow energy, and this golden door of opportunity is opening for you. You, through your root chakra, through the door of joy that leads to abundance, you have to believe. No, I am worthy. Am I worthy? Ego. Should I do this? Ego. And you might just have to take question marks out of your sentence and out of your oral vocabulary, except when they're appropriate. Like, you shouldn't ask a question to yourself, technically, although you might argue with me about, well, if I'm doing a reading, I kind of actually just set an intention rather than ask questions most times. But that's still outside of the scope of things. I still would say before you ask the question, make sure you know who you are. Do a little bit of practice of that first. I am deserving. So if you're trying to get a new job, or you're trying to figure out new ways to bring in some more income, or to figure out what's going on in your income, first affirm that you are worthy. I am worthy. I am abundant. I have all that I need. Even if I don't see it, you got to believe. And that helps you to have hope. Because hope is like a little window that really is leading to a big window. And so we know that it's not easy for everyone to believe in the big picture, to have faith in something that they haven't seen yet, and to just have a knowing or conviction that it will be. But hope, if you can find hope, you will be given a gift, because hope is a door to receiving. And it doesn't have to be excessive. I don't know why they keep writing this word in my mind. Either don't be excessive, or don't put too much on yourself, right? Sometimes we're thinking about the big thing, like, I need to do this in order to get here. And that could be excessive, because you might be blowing the whole situation. Let's say that's a budget, way out of proportion, when it's a simple reflection or shift or lifestyle change that's going to just open up, abundance to you. It's going to give you more room within um, your finances. Okay, so she's got the lantern, and that means that when you tap into hope, it opens up your mind, it opens up your heart, it helps you to write in the word compassion. Okay, remember the words cooperation, compassion, and curiosity is a way to start walking on this new paradigm. Tools. Okay, now they gave us these temples where we got to do our practice. And for the root chakra in particular, because I think that's the energy we're going to be dealing with this week, we've got to start a temple or chapel of joy. Okay, so let's take a look at the first card and see what the message is for this week. So, I can't even see from up here. The Four of Swords. So this is like just sitting, and this just shows a whole ritual and practice, right? This is just telling you, like, let it all go. Don't do anything. Take some time to stabilize yourself, to ground in your foundations. Figure out, with all that erratic emotion going on top, that your ego is just trying to get in. Focus on your foundation. I am. Stop with all that. Am I? Because that's what it's doing. Those phantom memories, like, am I? No, I am. Okay? And they just wrote the word conservative in front of me. So I get a sense that you should play things a bit on the conservative side. Don't, and I thought somebody said that the 21st is the start of Mercury retrograde. Don't quote me on that, but I think that's what was said in an online meeting I was in. So that's also a good reason to be a bit conservative. Okay, so be a little bit conservative with your energy as well. How much you're putting yourself out there, how much you say yes to. Be conservative, because see, all of that goes to the same thing of joy and abundance in your root chakra. Because if you're saying yes to too many things, then you're going to do that in your spending. In this way, the Four of Pentacles is that's the sort of the high vibe side of that card. Is, we always focus on the negative because of the picture, that's the pictorial key that's there, but it's also a good thing, because look what comes after it. The Five of Pentacles, where they're destitute. So although he looks like a miserly king, but if you follow the story from one card to the next, it's like, you need to make sure you ground yourself, know what you want to do with this abundance that you've just received. Don't go readily spend it. Make sure you spend it on something that's going to really give you joy and that's going to change your life. And that's also going to help you to lay a solid foundation of belief that's going to help really inspire wider facets of hope, right? But this is the air element here, swords. And so this is really about your mind, dealing with the mind here, and your intellect, the beliefs that are sort of playing into what's been going on, and really getting square, so to speak, with the foundational beliefs, aligning your thoughts with your foundational beliefs, listening to see, is it an I am or am I approach? Okay, so here we have the perspective card. We've had it maybe 2 weeks ago or maybe last week. So this is the traditional card, the Hangman. And this is really about the balloons. It's about seeing things from that bigger picture. Okay, seeing everything from a bigger picture. And you're going through it in the trenches, but somehow, if you create that temple and through acceptance, your practice elevates you to that higher frequency where you will be able to have clarity and understanding and a different experience because you're not at the same vibration where the thing that's going wrong is happening. So far, this is okay, we have the Hierophant here. I was about to say the only major arcana card, but we have two. So the Hierophant here, and this really, just these two cards, speak of the spiritual practice, right? And, how we understand the signs that are being given to us at this very important time, keeping aware that the Archangel Hope is offering a cosmic gift. So whatever we're going through, it's supporting a cosmic shift. And I keep seeing the word energy written out in front of me. So this is definitely an energetic shift. And the energetic shift is within the lesson. So if you don't resist the lesson, but receive it. And they want to remind you, they're right in front of me, multidimensional. You are a multidimensional being. And they wrote this across lesson, almost to say multi-lesson, but I can see multidimensional being. So that means that the lesson you will be able to experience the lesson on multiple levels, but you won't experience them all at the same time. You can ascend to the highest lesson. And if you do, you will be able, the highest lesson they wrote is like an essay. So, the lower lessons would be just like a few words, or a sentence here, there, but the higher lesson will be a full essay, like a full sort of complete essay that explains everything. And that explanation shifts you and releases you from that completely. It will be like they're right in front of me. You will have a sense of resignation. Powerful word. In this situation, a powerful resignation, which means you're no longer that phantom experience, whatever it is, of suffering. They're showing me a cross. Bye. And they're showing me the number 3, and then the Om symbol. So the number 3 is that they meant you're going to become. Some of you are going to elevate to the status of an ascended master and vibrate the Om throughout your experiences. All of your experiences will be at a high mastery level. Some of you, and you will vibrate the Om. That is truly awesome. I've never been given that message or the symbols for it ever before. So this card just also, and with this one, said, do nothing. Go into those temples to get the action. This is the universe's action is through these temples. You want things to flow, to work, to be as they should be, to exemplify the highest good, harmony, whatever, then go through the chapel to transmute all of this energy, because these chapels will become, in the golden future, these chapels will become the new institutions of our world. Our religions, our governments, our educational systems will be like these energetic chapels. They will harness these divinities, these divine sparks, these chapels, as their foundation and blueprint for assisting and serving humanity. That's just what came through my mind very clearly. But we all got to, each one of us has to start, and it doesn't, everybody doesn't have to go into these chapel-like experiences and start these practices for this to occur ultimately. The highest vibration actually rules. You really only need one, but in proportion to the planet, because the universe's laws, spiritual laws, always enjoys balance. And here we go with that first word, cooperation, right? So the laws work in cooperation with us. This is why we have to work in cooperation with others. The laws are compassionate towards us. The universe, we have to be compassionate towards others. The Creator creates through its curiosity. And through curiosity, there's no judgment. There's no fear or seeking out that which might be of harm. It is only expecting. Curiosity is believing, and faith is what leads our curiosity. Okay, so very important. Okay, the card from the bottom of the deck. It's the Action of Swords, and what you see here is a little mountain top and a goal. So what they're saying to us is that we have to be unwavering in our focus on what our goal is, and they've laid it out for us in this week. And don't you feel like this is the clearest it's ever been laid out? They've been laying it out clearly every time before, but now we're here. It's like we know what the thing is all about. We know what we're doing this time, and hopefully it'll be better for us, for many of us who've been suffering tremendously. Okay, and this sword, he's undeterred. He's gonna get there no matter what, and he's going very quickly. And that's why it's so troublesome to us all right now, because we're going very quickly, although it feels like we're going through it very slowly, because we feel like we're in it, like we're just surrounded and we're stuck and you can't find which way to go. But that is all. Chaos is the wheel of life turning. Chaos, when the wheel moves, that is ascension. Stagnation is ego. Stagnation is karma. It's a wheel of karma. So we always get comfortable when things are a little bit complacent until we can't stand it, because stagnation is toxic. And then until complacency becomes stagnation, we get fed up with it. Then that's like a forced issue, like it's forcing an issue, right? But chaos, we're afraid of it because we like stability. But chaos, change, is stability. It is being current with the universe and all of the new information that's coming out, all the new sound bites, energy bites that are coming out every millisecond of your day to the entire world, individually and collectively and worldwide. I mean, it's just universally, rather, it's just nonstop. And so there's going to come a time when we will not be disturbed by change or chaos. We're going to be glad, because it's like, okay, now it's time to move with the flow. But how about paying attention to your intuition so that things don't have to be chaotic in order to be comfortable. You'll get more comfortable with the change if you follow your intuition. All right, so I send you lots of love and angel blessings, and have a beautiful, beautiful week. God bless you.